jam-packed with information. So let's start out with introducing ourselves. Christine, why don't you take 30 seconds and tell us about who you are and a little bit about you.
Fabulous. Hello, everybody. I'm Christine Andreasen. I run a team in Washington State. We cover most of, excuse me, I'm also recovering from a cold. Good thing you can't catch colds via Zoom. We run a team. I run a team of 15 agents that covers all of Western Washington. Been in real estate about 20 years. I was a keynote speaker for 10, with KW for 10. I guess I've been in longer because now I've been with EXP for 3, so 23 years. Really, the best decision I ever made is jumping over to EXP. I love this opportunity. I've been in 3 years, and we have, I think, 112 people in our EXP organization now. So that's one of my passions, and that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. Lisa, why don't you take it?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Lisa Parenteau. I am a realtor broker associate on beautiful Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And I love to always say beautiful Cape Cod because it really is a beautiful place to live and work. I'm a single agent, but have a small team here on the Cape, also building my sales organization. I am a huge volunteer with our association, as well as I have the great fortune of sitting on our agent advisory council here at EXP. So I'm kind of a serial volunteer wherever I am. Love to talk about RPAC, advocacy, any of those things. If you're interested, please reach out to me. My most favorite thing in my life is that I'm also a grandma to now 3-year-old Eloise, who we will be picking up this afternoon. And that is certainly the joy of our lives. And if any of you are grandparents, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. Natalia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalia Zamiti. I work in York Region, which is just north of Toronto in Ontario, Canada. And I have been in real estate this is going to be my 8th year. And I'm a single agent just starting a team. So I'm very involved in my community. I am the founder and president of the Georgina Farmers Market. I'm also on the Chamber of Commerce. I'm just very active in the community, and I'm a mom of 2 boys. And I have an amazing husband. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. All right, let's take a poll real quick in the audience. I'd love to know, and I'm sure the icons want to know, so we can really tailor this towards who's watching right now. How many of you are new agents right now? New agents within 2 years. So you're a newer agent within 2 years. Okay, good. We've got a lot. Excellent. Okay, we've got lots of new agents. How about older agents? Have you been in the business 3 or more years? If you've been in the business 3 or more years, let's see how many we have there. Ooh, 22, 18, awesome. 25, wonderful. Okay, so we have a good mix of new agents and seasoned agents. So I think we need to do a little bit of everything to help the seasoned agents ramp it up and the new agents get it going. So let's start out. My first question for you guys is, how did you have a previous career? And if you did, what aspect of that business are you implementing in real estate? Because a lot of people don't just start as a realtor. A lot of us have come from other careers, and some of you may have skills that you have from previous careers that you can really implement and tap into to be an excellent realtor. So Lisa, why don't you start with that?
Sure. I think it's a really great question because most of us, unless we went right from high school to becoming a realtor, were probably did have some kind of work life. And even if it was in hospitality, we like to say, during your high school or early college years, those skill sets still really can translate to real estate sales. I don't know how many of you were in the leadership that was about DISC, but I think one of the most important takeaways of all is when Russ asked your DISC guy, can only high Ds and high Is be successful? And he said, absolutely not, that every single profile brings a different skill set to selling and to real estate, and that is so true. So, one of my many past lives was as a marketing consultant, primarily in healthcare. But I think being in marketing, for one, it gives me an eye always for things that are pleasing in terms of like social media and print materials, how things go together, fonts and looks and feels of things. But most importantly, I think it's always to ask the question of what is your buyer really looking for? Are you a solution? Do you have a solution to what your buyer is looking for? And if so, how can you present it in a way that will really land with your buyer? And that's often so very different than how we look at it. And then, of course, with us, it's usually a couple, right? So, and shockingly, the couple does not think the same way. So how can you present information to usually a couple that may have a high D, high I, and a high SIC, right? How do you do that? So from a marketing perspective, I think that was hugely helpful for me now in sales.
Okay, awesome. Do any of the other icons have like a different background that they want to share and some of the tools that they've taken to use in real estate?
Sure, it's Christine.
Go ahead, Christine.
Mine's interesting turn of events because I got into real estate and I had only sold one house that was brand new, but I also happened to volunteer for a company called Landmark, and I led seminars for them. So I was on stage speaking, and a gentleman who ran a coaching company asked me to come be a keynote speaker for his coaching company, and which was kind of funny because and it was a real estate coaching company, but I'd sold one house. Apparently that makes me an expert. So, but he trained me in being a keynote speaker. So I got out of real estate sales and literally led real estate courses, like at NAR and all those different events for 10 years. And when the market crashed in 2008, I jumped back into real estate sales and took every single thing that I had learned from being around real estate agents for 10 years and implemented it in my business. It was a little crazy though, because it was actually the end of 2008, December. The market had crashed. Most agents were fleeing the industry. And I tapped in because I thought, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and implement all the things I've been talking about for years to actually do it myself. And that's how I launched my business, was really just taking the coaching that you hear all the time. Work with your database, follow up. Don't be afraid to just roll up your sleeves and get out there and meet people. So I took all the basics in coaching and started my career in January of 2009.
Fantastic. That's awesome. That was really a great opportunity that, your one career actually had you in with realtors so you could observe and learn from them and before you even decided to jump in.
Exactly.
Natalia, do you have something that you'd like to add?
Sure. It's funny because real estate was never on my radar. I think some people have some kind of idea at some point that they'll get into real estate. But I was actually a chef. I worked at restaurants and then started my own catering company, and then eventually had my own cafe, which then led to being a personal chef. So I think really what I've taken from my businesses in the past is really, one, how to run a business, and two, having those people skills, being really good with people, because especially with the catering part of it, and then the cafe. So I feel like I got a lot of experience just being comfortable around people and dealing with, all the good and bad that goes along with running a business. So I think that really helped me in my real estate career.
That's awesome. And so looking in the chat, I see that there's a lot of people with various backgrounds and careers. And one of the big things is, and what these icons have done, is taken their skills and kind of implemented them in their business. So if you have a marketing background, or I see someone here was at FedEx, organizational efficient. Yeah. I mean, lean to your strengths. That's what helps you to improve your productivity. Lean to your strengths. When you have a weakness, either get an assistant that's really strong in your weak areas, or partner with somebody that's in your weak areas, or work on your weaker areas. But definitely you need to focus on your strengths, because your strengths are what going to help you propel to the next level. That being said, what is your secret sauce? We want to know, in this market, this is a changing market. It's kind of funky, it's stagnant, it's up and down, and a lot of people are not used to something different than the big boom that we just came out of. So what's your secret sauce to kind of generating business when it's not so easy? Who'd like to take it first? How about Christine?
Sure, you got it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. I think it's going back to the basics. I mean, we all have real estate career. For those of us that do have a history of, 10 years in the business, when it got so crazy in the last few years, and, we'd put a sign in the yard and get 30 offers, we were so busy fielding that we didn't have to go to our sphere a lot. We didn't have to throw events. We didn't have to reach out to all our past clients because we were so busy. So we did that, but we did it minimally. And in the last, since the market shifted here in Seattle, it was June when that happened in 2022, I've really turned back to my past clients. I've really started throwing events again and inviting my clients and my sphere, getting all those personal touches in where you just really get, it's really lovely to have the time to focus on the relationships again. So I think, even if you're new, you've got a sphere, you've got people but you now have the opportunity to really go deep and build relationships that'll last a lifetime. And I have clients who've given me 4, 5, 6, 7 different deals between them and their kids, plus referrals. So I think it's just a lovely, fabulous opportunity to build those relationships again.
Yeah, and to bounce on that was awesome, Christine, thank you. To bounce on that, absolutely, this is a relationship business. We kind of lost touch with that in the boom when you put a sign in the yard and it was just so easy. But this is really a relationship business. One of the other icons in another forum had once said, conversations lead to opportunities. So have as many conversations as you can have with as many people as you can. Hey, I'm a realtor. Don't be a secret agent. I'm a realtor. Talk to people. Lisa, what is your secret sauce in this kind of a market?
So it is such a great question, and this is this is the beauty of ICONversations, because we're going to get some really interesting nuggets from every single person, because everyone has such different approaches to all this. Immediately when you said that question, I would say my secret sauce, and I think especially in this market, is your mindset, is to find a way to keep an optimism in your mind. Find a way to find a silver lining. And if you don't have that as an inherent quality, find some colleagues who do and stay with them. When we're going through a challenging time, there's nothing less productive than wringing your hands and getting freaked out. It simply is a waste of time and of your heart space. So I would say, for myself, I was kind of born and blessed with seeing a silver lining. No matter how, it might take me a little bit longer sometimes, but it is something that I'm able to. So now when things are continuing to level off and to shift, and we don't have 30 offers every time we stick the sign in the yard, now is when we really continue to grow and honor relationships in our market with other agents. Those relationships are hugely important, whether you're attracting or not. People that you co-broke with, they're going to be there. Buyers and sellers come and go. So, and then learning, how can you, no matter how long you've been around, what are some new things you can learn about? ChatGPT, is everybody taking everything they can right now about that, just so that you can have intelligent conversations? There's always something to learn. So now's the time, when you're not fielding spreadsheets of 30 offers, that you're finding the silver lining in this shift and taking advantage of all of that. And then I also just want to add, to keep it in the day, one day at a time. There's a funny line about, I survived all those catastrophes that actually never happened. So just like make sure you keep it in today. Do the very best you can today and go to sleep knowing you did the best that you could. And tomorrow's another day.
Fantastic. Natalia, what about your little secret sauce there?
Okay, well, I feel like I have more than 3, but let's see where this goes. I think the biggest one for me is being self-motivated. So what does that mean? Like for me, I'm personally excited to get out of bed in the morning. And how did I get there? I feel like I love what I do, so it just kind of comes naturally. I mean, that's not to say there's not difficult days, but I would say overall, I am excited even after, 8 years. But I also have a really good morning routine. So how you start your day is going to affect your week and your month and your year. So even if it's just like one little thing that you do every morning, and that could just be for you and how that makes you better, whether that's, taking 15 minutes to read or to write or whatever it is that is good for you, you need to stick with that. And then also, you got to really work on not taking things personally, having thick skin. For some people, it's natural, they just naturally don't take things personally, but most people do. And in this business, there can be quite a bit of rejection, right? So work on that, because that can really affect you and how you are successful in this business, right? Like if you're constantly getting rejected even by family and friends, when you're new, it can really set you back. So having a good support system, like maybe it's your sponsor, or you have a couple friends in the business, but just trying to stay positive. I mean, obviously no one's perfect, but it's really important to have that support system. And also be consistent. Well, if you're a new agent, how am I supposed to be consistent if I don't actually know what I'm doing, or, where to start? But if you can just choose one thing and be consistent at that, like even if you don't have any business right now, make a certain time of the day and go and preview homes in your area. Just pick one thing, or, maybe it's door knocking or phone or calling your sphere, but just choose one thing and be consistent at it, because it will build. It's that snowball effect, right? So there's a few things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Is Jawar, did he get on? Is he here yet?
He isn't here yet, Danielle.
Okay, no worries. We'll keep going. So awesome. I'm going to jump into my secret sauce is my database. And if you're a new agent, it is imperative for you to have a database. And if you are a seasoned agent, if you're not using your database on a daily basis, you need to start doing that. That's what's going to help you ramp up your business. The database has all the information about all of my clients, all of my sphere. You can go through every day. You should be able to task yourself out on follow-up calls, reminders, when you're doing events, if you're going to send something to someone, birthday cards, everyone loves that. Anytime I send something to my sphere or my database, I usually wind up getting a referral or two. There's always a great return on my investment when I reach out with my time, or if I send something to people, because you need top of the mind awareness. If you're not in the front of their mind and they have a conversation with somebody about a realtor and you're not constantly in front of them, and they remember realtor, realtor equals Danielle. You got to use Danielle. You have to stay top of the mind awareness with your sphere as a new agent. Let people know that you're building your business. You would love to help anyone that needs help. And seasoned agents, you need to stay top of the mind awareness. It shouldn't be a transaction and then you never talk to those clients again. Reinstate your relationship with them. This is a relationship business. Referrals are your bread and butter. They are your consistent business. So if you want to amp up your business, you have to stay in touch with your database and create a database if you don't have one. But that's my secret sauce: database. All right, let's move on to the next thing. In this time, a lot of people, especially new agents and even seasoned agents, if they're not working their sphere and they're not able to work on a database, how do you get your best leads? What is your lead generation? There's so many options out there. What's your lead generation go-to? How about we start with Natalia this time?
Sorry, I had my mic off. Lead generation. Okay, so when I was first starting out, I was hungry. So this is something that I really encourage any new agents to do, and that is, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, is offer to do open houses for other agents. It was one of the best things I could have done starting my business. So because you're meeting people who are actively looking. And when they would come to the open house, I wouldn't be spammy. I would just like talk to them, casual conversation, and try and get as much information out of them to really be able to nurture that relationship going forward. And I cannot tell you how many new clients I got from open houses. So that is a great way without having to go door knock or cold call, right? It's more of and again, it depends on your personality, Nate. You know, some people are good at door knocking. Some people are good at cold calling. Social media is another really great example of that. You know, reach out to other agents if you don't have listings. Ask if you can advertise their listings. And, you know, because really, if you look on social media, it's all about perception. People just want to see that you're doing business, you know, but don't just do for sales and solds and stuff like that. That gets really boring. And people want to know who you are. So if you're, you know, going to be on social media, be you. You know, go and post videos on stories if you're comfortable in front of the camera. If not, get comfortable with the camera, because that is what we need to do moving forward. You know, it's all about video. So I think those are a couple things. I mean, you can pay for leads, but, you know, it depends on where you are in your business. So those are a couple examples of, and definitely your sphere, always your sphere. But just make sure you don't do it in a spammy way. You know, I always like to call people and just talk to them. They will always ask you about real estate, 100%. So just make conversations. Even if you set a goal of, okay, I'm going to talk to 5 people today, whether that's in your sphere or you're going to meet new people, whatever it is, just make sure you have a goal of talking to a certain number of people every day.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. That was fantastic. You don't need to bring up real estate. They are going to ask you. So just be concerned, make it very personal, you know, have the conversation. How are you? What's new in your life? What's going on? How's the house? You know, if they were a buyer, how's the house? If they're just a sphere, you know, what's happening in their lives? They'll eventually want to reciprocate the conversation and say, what's new with you? And then you can tell them, you know, well, I'm doing well in business, or I'm looking to grow my business, or whatnot. Whatever, it can organically change the conversation into real estate, and most of the time they will bring it up. But having a conversation and just being genuine and real, that's what people seem to respond to the most. Christine, how about you? What's your lead generation tool that you like the best right now in this time?
Yeah, I love what Natalia said about, you know, just talking to people. Everybody said it, talk to people. And I love we also go, my team goes and gets open houses. If we don't have enough listings on our team right now, which we usually do, but we have 15 agents. They'll go to Workplace. They'll go to Workplace and ask other EXP agents if they could hold their opens. And then I think when you're new, open houses are such a great opportunity because they are free and you could triple work them. You could, you know, go around and knock all the doors at 10, 10, 20, right? 10 on one side of the open house, 10 on the other, and 20 across the street. And it's not a pitch. It's just, you know, you just go and say, hi, I just want to let you know, my name's Christine, I'm with eXp Realty. I want to let you know there might be a little bit more traffic this weekend than you expect on your street. It's because I'm holding that house open across the street. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. I mean, it's like a courtesy, but it's just a way to get yourself in front of the neighbors. And then invite them over and invite them maybe even to a neighborhood exclusive. Everybody loves that word, exclusive for the neighbors on Friday night. And have a little hors d'oeuvres. And then the other thing you could do is you could go on to Cole Realty Resource if you use that program, and you could search that open house and get 500 names and numbers that are right in the neighborhood, or 100, or whatever number makes you feel comfortable, and drop them a voicemail. Put a voicemail, again, just an invitation. Hey, just want to let you know we just listed the house around your corner. I would love you to come to the neighborhood exclusive open and have some sparkle bubbles and appetizers with us. So I think open houses are just brilliant if you're new. Once you have some money to spend and reinvest into your business, I love events. So we're doing an Easter egg hunt on Easter with the bunny and the photographer. We do puppy costume contests on Halloween. We do wine tasting. We have a beautiful waterfront office space, so we really take advantage of throwing a lot of events. And we do some for our clients and our sphere, and then we do some for agents when it comes to attraction for EXP. So those are my go-to. When you have money to throw at it, do events. If you have no money to throw at it, do open houses.
That was very awesome. Thank you, Christine. Lisa, what's your secret sauce?
Hey, so to be honest, in the beginning of my career and for a couple of years, so I've been back in the market since 15, I absolutely did paid lead programs. I work with Realtor.com. I've tried others, but I had very good luck with Realtor.com. And over the years, I kind of was able to really focus on my town. I kind of did different things over the years, and I would wait and kind of negotiate with them. But inevitably, I would have at least two, what we now call bluebirds, someone calling on one property, writing an offer on one property, closing on one property. And the very highest listing at the time I ever had in Willow Bend, over 3 million, was from that. I had a luxury every year, bluebird luxury. And so it paid for it for years, years ahead. And you need to have a very good follow-up system. You need to be able to call them immediately if possible. The conversion rates are off the scale, as we know, but that's not always possible when you're first starting out. But that is certainly what added to the momentum of my business. And people have strong opinions on paid leads or not. And all of those platforms have changed a lot in the last few years. So, and I have let that go since then because of my market, which is a resort and second home market. It's a little bit different. I often listen with great envy to people like Christine and her Easter egg hunt and all those things. My people don't live here for the most part. They vacation here. They come down very intermittently from really from October or November until May, right? So we don't have that same kind of community feel that you might in a more residential neighborhood. Sorry, I have something stuck in my throat. So what I have done over the years is really build my referral network program, my referral. So I send an email monthly. Now it's, I think, well over 100 agents that have referred business to me in some way over time. And then I haven't closed them. They haven't all resulted in something, but they did identify me as their Cape Cod go-to agent. And so every month I send them some really fun things that are happening on the Cape this month. I send them a market update from the month before and a little paragraph about something that's going on in the area or in my life, or something that is like a warm and fuzzy, hey, remember Cape Cod, it's so fabulous. So that's kind of what I've done to encourage more activity in the one area that was really, the strongest for my business. That came too out of analysis, as I'm sure everyone does, of looking where your source of business came in the prior year, and then find a way to really grow focus your attention and grow, whatever kind of touch program you're doing in that next year. So again, mine is so much referral, not so much like client referral, which of course we do, but it's agent across the country referrals to Cape Cod. And other resort and second home markets, I'm sure, would be quite similar.
That's great. Thank you so much, Lisa. Yeah, you're in a totally different type of niche, the vacation homes. We've got a little bit of that and normal residency here in Arizona too. So we do like about 50-50 of that over here. So you're going to be my new Cape Cod go-to also.
Yay, yay. Thank you.
Yeah, so referral, don't forget about other agents. One beautiful thing about EXP is we are international. So if you are in the type of market that Lisa's in, where you do have a lot of people that buy second homes, that's another type of a niche that you can focus on as part of supplementing your business and reaching out to other EXP agents across the nation and across the world and just touching base so you can be that go-to. Going to the EXP-Con and shareholders is a great way to meet people and network. I've done that so much myself and get a good amount of referral business from out-of-state agents also. So that is a great little nugget there. Wonderful. Okay, so going back to our everyday, either as a new agent or a seasoned agent, what is something that is a no-brainer that you have to do every single day to help your business continue to thrive? What's one thing that you can do every single day? Let's go back to Christine.
Yeah, a game we play on my team is talk to 10 live human beings and let them know you're in real estate that didn't know you were in real estate when you woke up this morning. And you do that every day, 5 days a week before your head hits the pillow. So it could be in a grocery store, it could be at your kid's soccer match, it could be wherever, but we always play a game every day, talk to 10 human beings, let them know you're, and it's easy if you come up with one line that just rolls off rolls out of your mouth easily. For example, my line is, I always say, in my line of work. So I'll find a way in every conversation to work that in. And it's just like you said earlier, Danielle, eventually it'll come around to what you do. But, if you're standing in a grocery store line and somebody says, oh my gracious, I'm so glad it's Friday, I'll say, in my line of work, it's like Monday. Because it begs for the question, what do you do? And then we're talking real estate. So find a way to work a line like that into your conversations 10 times a day, every day.
That is gold. I love that line. Okay, every ICONversation, I always take in a nugget, and that's one of my big ones I'm taking today. Thank you so much, Christine. Bouncing on that, I would say too, if you have a logo shirt, an EXP Realty shirt, a hat, a team shirt, you wear that in and around town and people will just start a conversation with you. I've had that happen to me in the grocery store. They just see my shirt. Oh, you're in real estate? How's the market? And sure enough, there goes the conversation. So wearing your logo or Realty, we'll Taco Tuesday for Realty or something like that, even a fun shirt, that begs to lend conversations as well. All right, Lisa, how about you? What's your one go-to thing that you do every single day?
Oh, I will share that, but I wanted to say it's really great to make sure you have an e-card on your phone so that you don't have to be whipping out your business card. I just love that, in my line of work. I love Christine anyway, but have an electronic business card so that if they go, oh, do you have a contact, you can whip your phone out and you can share your contact info. So my absolutely non-negotiable every day is I really do meditate every morning. And sometimes that's only 5 minutes. But I have a regular meditation program. I have a number of things I do in the morning to get my mindset right. And I make sure whatever time I have to get up that I leave enough time for that. I do some journaling. I do some affirmations now. If on the outside I look like a super high D, high I, but on the inside I'm super crunchy granola. So I have all of that stuff that absolutely sets the stage for everything else I do. And when I am doing affirmations, which is something I'm doing now, it has to do with wealth and has to do with inspiration and all of those things I'm putting into my mind the minute I get up, and I really do know the next thing to do. And just to back up a little bit, I always also make sure the night before I look at my calendar pretty carefully, and I look at what it is that I am committed to doing, what amount of time I might have that is open that I can use for some unstructured time, which I really need and require, whether it's out with the dog or whatever. But I really do make sure that I understand all of my responsibilities the night before, so I'm not reacting the minute I step my foot on the floor in the morning. So meditation, so night before, and then meditation for mindset, and then going on with my day.
That's wonderful. Yeah, there's nothing better than starting with a positive attitude. If you're waking up smiling and getting your day started, it can't go wrong. Or if it does, you'll make it better. That's awesome. A gratitude journal, we've heard in the past too, along those lines with Lisa. That's really something. Be thankful. Just take a minute, write 3 things you're thankful for, and get on with your day. It'll totally set your tone differently and get you very, very positive. How about you, Natalia? What's your one go-to thing?
Well, Christine and Lisa have really shared some really great things, and I 100% agree with them. So I can only choose one. So I will say that, actually, I'm going to kind of choose 2. So I agree with Lisa about having that plan the night before. I always make sure I know what I'm doing the next day, so I don't wake up all frazzled and with no direction. So having that direction the night before you wake up, it actually will help the way you sleep, because everything is out on paper, or in your phone, and you can go to sleep without having all these thoughts and worries in your mind. So you can sleep well, you wake up, you know what your day is going to look like. The number one thing that I do, well, it's kind of a couple things, but I always have time in the morning where I will pray. I will have my time with the Lord, and that is really important to me. So, some people are, like Lisa said, having their meditation, whatever it is you need to do to just find that space, that quiet to start your day off right. I've always run my business where I'm here to serve. So it's just really important to know that I'm serving myself as well. So I'm full so that I can serve others. Sense?
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Natalia. That is very, very inspirational for sure. Okay. I know once you have some business going, we've covered a lot in lead generation and whatnot, which is important right now. But once you have things going, is it important to track your business? A lot of people are like, well, I don't have time to write everything down. Why is that important? Why is it important to track your business? New and experienced agents. I'm not sure that everybody does track their business or tracks what they do. What processes do you guys use for tracking business or other things if you don't track, if you want to track something in particular? Lisa, why don't we start with you?
Okay, I was going to say, I'll jump in. So I've actually, you realize after many years that how you see things, and I see things in spreadsheets. And so I actually created a spreadsheet. Gosh, I have to look back now. Maybe it was in 16. This is called RE Transactions. That's in Google Drive. And so I've been adding tabs to it. So that's kind of great to watch all of that. And when I get past purchase and sale, I will record all of the details of the sale on that spreadsheet, including, importantly for me, the source of the business. Was there a split difference? And then depending on what brokerage still hear you, and I don't know about me.
I can absolutely hear both of you right now.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Somebody might have clicked something.
Yeah, okay. You may want to refresh. There's gears in the top right of the screen. I'm talking and they can't hear me, so I'll type it. In the meantime, Natalia, how about you? How would you answer that question?
No, can you repeat what the question was? I totally got sidetracked here. Oh, about
I did.
the leads. Sorry. Yes. So I keep track of my my business, my clients through my CRM. So I actually have two of them. I have like my lead generating CRM, and then I have just my clients. I know you can just have one, but that's just how my brain works, and I need to keep them separate. So I treat my past clients in a certain way, and I know where they've come from, whether or not they're a referral or they were, from my open house, or I met them in the grocery store, whatever. But I always know where my business has come from. And also, if you have like those clients that always send you referrals, like you need, like, I don't know about you guys, but I would send them thank you gifts, just like it's just so, I am so appreciative and I'm grateful. So it's really good to find out. And also, like, maybe you've done mail outs, maybe you've knocked doors. It's good to keep track of who you've met and where they heard of you. So even if somebody if I get a phone call or I get an email, I always ask, where did you hear of me? Like, how did you find me? Because, I can't just assume that my ads or my signage or what have you is working. It's always good to know where, you spend energy or money, what the return is on that. So and then I keep all my leads in a separate CRM so that I can nurture them in a different way than I would my past clients.
Yeah, absolutely. ROI is really important, especially in these times when you might be wanting to run more of a lean ship and business isn't as busy as it was. You definitely want to see what the return on your investment is. And that goes for your time too. If you're making phone calls, track how many phone calls that you're making each day. How many phone calls does it take for you to get one lead or one conversion? Those are things that you should be tracking because your time is valuable too. You don't want to spend extra time making phone calls if when you write notes and you send notes to people, that time has a better return on your investment. That may be where you want to focus more of your time, especially if you're not spending money. But if you are spending money, you definitely want to see, or is spending money on Realty.com, is that getting me a good return on my investment? Is having a client event getting me a good return on my investment? Is investing in birthday cards and sending them out with a little $5 Starbucks gift card in them getting me a return on my investment? Know where your money and your time is going so that you can be more productive with those things. Christine, how about you? What do you track?
Everything. I track everything. I use a program called Sisu. I know somebody's going to ask how to spell that, so I'll just put it right now in the chat. I use Sisu, and that tracks all of my agents' contacts, whether it's text, combos, door knocking, live, whatever, how many conversations they have per week. They track it. I don't track it for them. They track it, but then it tracks their appointment ratio. So it's combos to appointment ratio, then it tracks their appointments to closing ratio. So they could really look ahead and see the trajectory of 2023 right now, just by virtue of what happened for January and February. So I use Sisu to track that type of thing. And then of course I do ROI reviews every quarter with my director of operations to see, what's red light and what's green light on our lead sources and different programs that we use. I just think it's so important for agents to track your conversations and appointments. You may think I'm just going to put my head down and go until I have the business, but when it comes to business planning in the future, you want to know your ratios. You want to know your law of averages. You want to know what you can count on. So it makes it easier. If I got to talk to 10 people that are warm leads, meaning either somebody that's raised their hand on the internet or walked into an open house, you know I got to talk to 10 people to get half an appointment, or 20 people to get one appointment, and I got to have 3 appointments to get one deal, then you can say, all right, 60 appointments, that's our 60 conversations, that's what I'm doing today. And you could really not have it be so mysterious for you if you track all your numbers. So track everything. I mean, I don't even care if it's on a little scratch piece of paper next to you and you just do little tally marks for how many conversations you have that week and how many appointments you get. But ultimately, you want to keep a bigger spreadsheet, a longer term. If you don't want to pay for CSU, do some other way so that you can actually look at the trajectory of your success. That's my plan.
Fantastic, Christine. Fantastic. Track it all. Track everything. Wonderful. So I know that, we've been talking a lot about reaching out to people, conversations, tracking how many conversations you have, all of that to get some consistent business. But I know out there are a lot of agents that are like, gosh, how many times, I don't have a big spear. How many times should I call people or email them or text them? I don't want to be annoying. I don't want them to I don't want them to be mad at me. What is your rule of thumb for reaching out to people in leads? Whether it's people or a warm lead or a raw lead, how often do you find it's okay to reach out and contact people? Who wants to take that one first?
I'll start. It's Christine.
Okay, Christine.
I think it totally matters what type of lead it is and what you're reaching out for. If you're just reaching out saying, hey, do you want to sell a house? Do you want to sell a house? Do you want to sell a house? Then, be careful. But if I'm reaching out to my sphere to invite them to an event,